Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Waffle. Today is part 2 of Goldberg. What if Goldberg never returned to WWE in 2017? We've just done Luke's episode. It's better than mine, I think. I think mine's quite good, but his is more in depth and I think it's better. So I'm saying it's better. But
You can't say that about your own. You can't doubt yourself already.
But yeah, I think yours has just gone. You've thought more into it. I've literally got not as many people as you have, and I think you thought more into it anyway.
What an intro! What really makes people want to continue listening.
Please continue listening. Mine's really good. It's the best fantasy booking you've ever seen. WWE, listen, and you'll hire me.
Also, you'll find out what the next what if is at the end of the video.
The end of the video. So if you really want, just skip to the end, and you'll find out what the next what if is.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Mine's amazing. So I start Survivor Series as well, like you. It's Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. But to start the night, Sami Zayn beats Chris Jericho to win the United States Championship. Just, Jericho loses to Sami, Kevin's best mate. So, win some, you lose some, Chris. It turns out you lose some because Team SmackDown win Survivor Series match, and Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are eliminated first from the match. Oof. So they're the first two off Team Raw. Now, the Raw after Survivor Series, Roman Reigns comes out and on Raw and says he wants Owens at TLC and demands KO comes out to the ring. No music hits and Roman is left on his own in the ring, just stood there. The next week we start the show with Chris Jericho's music. Jericho makes his way to the ring. He says that Roman is a stupid idiot for calling out Kevin and that Kevin declines Roman's offer. Then he stops and the crowd awaits Roman's theme. It doesn't come. Jericho drops the mic, rolls out of the ring, and then last second, Jericho grabs the mic and says, "Oh wait, one more thing. You know what happens to people who disrespect my friend? Do you know what happens when people disrespect me? Hey Roman, you just made the list." So Roman's on the list. Just added to the list. Then, the next week, Kurt Angle makes Chris Jericho versus Roman Reigns at TLC official. As Kevin Owens hasn't shown up in the last few weeks, because of that, if Roman wins, he will face Kevin at Roadblock for the Universal title. We're at TLC. Chris Jericho and Roman Reigns have a decent match that both show their best moves and get close 2 counts. Roman Reigns then hits Jericho with a Superman punch and then a spear. He pins Jericho. 1, 2, 3. Roman moves on to Roadblock to face KO for the title. The next week we start the show with Roman calling out Kevin, saying he finally wants to see him one-on-one. Then Kevin's music finally hits and he storms down to the ring and the two brawl until Jericho runs down to help out Kevin and the two batter Roman and leave with the upper hand. The next few weeks they continue to go back and forth with each other, with Roman being added to the list by Jericho about 6 times at this point. Just every week Jericho's like multiple times he goes, "You know what, Roman? You just made the list." And then Roman's just stood there like, "I've made the list already like 4 times. What's going on here?" So then Roman requests that Jericho should be banned from ringside. Kurt Angle grants his request and adds that if Jericho makes any appearance at Roadblock, that Kevin will have to give the title to Roman. At Roadblock, Roman and Kevin have a classic. I say a classic. All my matches are a classic because, I don't know how to book a match. Towards the end of the match, Roman starts to get the upper hand and he winds up with his spear, with his ooh, ah. That is what he says in the notes. So, sorry for anyone with headphones. And as Kevin is led down in the opposite corner, he reaches under the ring, grabs a kendo stick, and as Roman charges at him, he turns and hits Roman with the kendo. The ref rings the bell, Roman wins, but Kevin keeps the title. Roman feels robbed and aggressively demands to Kurt Angle that he gets a rematch at the Royal Rumble. He says he had him and that he technically won the match, just not the title. Kurt Angle agrees and makes it no DQ at the Royal Rumble. The next weeks, Jericho and Kevin keep being able to avoid all Roman's attacks slyly, getting away every time until the go-home show before the Rumble when Jericho and Kevin run away again. But Roman catches Jericho up and is able to get a few shots on before Kevin came in and split them up. Then security able to stop them before chaos ensued. What do you think so far?
Good.
You like it?
I mean, you kept Roman strong.
Yeah.
He's warranted a rematch.
Yeah, I think
so.
Yeah. Okay. At the Royal Rumble, we start the show. with The Miz winning the WWE title. I'm kidding. Had to get The Miz in.
Oh,
At the Royal Rumble, we start the show with John Cena and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. John Cena wins the match, becomes a 16-time champion, like he did in real life. I don't know if it was the start of the show. I doubt it was the start of the show. It was that good. It didn't deserve to be the start of the show. Can't really remember. Anyway, later on in the night, we reach the penultimate match of the show, the Universal title match. After a brutal match, neither Kevin or Roman can get the job done. That's when Chris Jericho comes out to help Kevin and hits Roman across the head with the List of Jericho. Then Roman stumbles off the ropes into a code breaker where Kevin pins Roman 1, 2, 3. Kevin and Jericho celebrate together, walking off and leave the crowd in shock as they await the main event up next. In the Royal Rumble, Jericho enters at 17 and makes his way to the Final Four with Roman, Seth and Dean Ambrose. The Hounds of Justice surround Jericho and team up on him, leaving him in the corner. Seth starts to command orders to Roman and Dean about how to eliminate Jericho, and they look at each other and all the memories come back, and Dean and Roman turn to Seth and then eliminate Seth. Roman starts shouting at Rollins from inside the ring, and Dean takes a step back, looks at the hard cam, shrugs his shoulders and eliminates Roman.
That's good.
Dean celebrates and then turns round into a code breaker, and Jericho throws Ambrose over the top rope to win the Royal Rumble. We then have a shot of Roman, Seth and Ambrose leant up against the barricade looking up as Jericho points to the WrestleMania sign. Kevin comes out to celebrate with Jericho and they have another moment in the ring as the show closes with Kevin and Jericho hugging. What do you think so far? Did you see that coming?
Good. Yeah, well, no.
You didn't see that coming?
The Royal Rumble, I didn't include that one in mine. And
no, I know.
I thought the way the Shield got eliminated was pretty unique.
I thought
pretty good.
Roman's obsession with Seth sort of comes through there a bit. And then I can so see Dean Ambrose just looking at the camera going, oh well,
yeah, I like
and
that
throwing
bit.
him over.
I like that
so
bit.
I thought that made sense. Okay. We start Raw with a shot backstage of Kevin and Jericho looking rather rough after what looked like a long night of a little bit of the bubbly. I had to get that in. To celebrate their success.
Oh my God.
Come on, it had to be done.
That is good.
It's one of Jericho's most iconic moments. Just like on the internet, not just in wrestling.
It was a literal meme.
It is a literal meme. So they come out to the ring and continue to celebrate together when Roman's music hits. He comes to the ring and says that he's had enough of the two of them, and that if he can find a tag partner, he challenges Owens and Jericho to a tag match at Elimination Chamber, and if he wins, he will face Kevin at WrestleMania for the title. Kevin and Jericho accept and begin to leave. Roman then goes, hang on one sec, Chris. I think you might want to get to know my tag partner for Fastlane. The music hits, and it's the trumpets. John Cena makes his way to the ring and raises his newly won WWE title in Jericho's direction. The next week, Jericho and Owens come out and say they know that both Roman and Cena aren't in the arena. They just take the piss out of them for 15 minutes, and then Jericho says, all jokes aside, you know what happens, John, when someone disrespects me? You know what happens when you disrespect a Royal Rumble winner? Like you did last week. You know what happens? You just made the list. So John Cena's on the list. Roman Reigns at this point is on about 14, 15 times.
That's a few too many times.
That obviously I didn't put him in, but Roman's just on the list.
It's just on it.
He's got Roman Reigns, his actual name, Tribal Chief, even though that's not even a thing at this point. He's got Suffering Succotashes on there somewhere. Everything. Okay, where was I? Here, you just made the list. Okay, the 2 weeks before Elimination Chamber, we get face-offs in the ring between the two teams with back and forth on the mic. Basically, Jericho and Cena sort of just going back and forth. Owens and Reigns going back and forth. Okay, so far, you like it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You like it? Okay, good. In a strong back and forth match, this is at Elimination Chamber, sorry. So it's Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho versus Roman Reigns and John Cena. In a strong back and forth match, both teams come very close to getting the job done. Then Jericho gets Cena in the walls with Jericho on the outside of the ring and leaves Kevin and Roman one-on-one in the ring, where Kevin then hits Roman with the pop-up powerbomb to win the match. Jericho releases Cena and runs in the ring to celebrate with Kevin. Kevin and Jericho then look at Cena as he is given his title by the referee. Kevin goes to get his title and starts to beat up Cena and then throws him into the ring, where he then gets a code breaker from Jericho. And Jericho and Kevin stand over Roman and Cena, with Owens raising the Universal title and Jericho raising the WWE title. over the lifeless bodies of Cena and Reigns. Owens and Jericho then hug, and then Jericho gives Cena the title back and then goes to hug Kevin, but hits Kevin with a code breaker.
Oh.
He stands over the 3 bodies and lets the moment sink in. He then points to the WrestleMania sign, holding up the Universal title, and before leaving, drops it on Kevin and says, "You made the list." Do you like that little turn?
That was nice, yeah.
Did you see that coming?
It's a bit different than the Festival of Friendship.
Yeah,
so.
no, I thought I did think about that, and when you brought it, I was like, you know what, I like that. I did think about it, but I thought I wanted this big heel turn.
Yeah.
You know, there might have been a big heel turn at Elimination Chamber recently that might have, put the brain into my head, put the idea into my head. I wouldn't have thought of who. Yeah, can't think of a big heel turn at Elimination Chamber.
I can't think of it, no.
But I thought, you know what? Build it up all the way that it looks like it's going to be Jericho Cena after he wins the Rumble. But Jericho never actually confirms that it's going to be him, Cena. And then hits Kevin with a code breaker.
Yeah, that's good.
So, the Raw after the Royal Rumble. Kevin's music hits and demands that Chris comes out. Chris doesn't appear. Kevin goes backstage and is going crazy to find Jericho for the whole show. He is looking for him and can't find him. Everywhere he's going. Back, catering, gorilla, literally everywhere. Cleaning closets. Everywhere he can go, he's looking for Jericho. He can't find him. The next week, Kevin comes out again enraged with the fact that he cannot find Chris Jericho. Jericho has gone completely off the grid and has made no contact with WWE at all. Nobody in WWE, not even like Kurt Angle, GM. No one knows what's going on. Next week, Kurt Angle then announces that at Fastlane, Chris Jericho is required to appear to sign the contract for the WrestleMania main event. On the go-home show, Kevin is much more relaxed as he knows he will get his hands on Jericho at Fastlane and comes out and cuts a promo about how he hates Jericho and that Chris will never win the title off of Kevin. At Fastlane, you have the WrestleMania contract signing. Kevin Owens comes out first, places the title on the stand and then takes his seat at the table. Everybody waits to see if Jericho will turn up. As the tension rises, Kevin asks for a mic, and as he is given the mic, a 10-second countdown begins on the Titantron.
Ooh.
Gets down to 0, break the walls down hits, and after around 20 seconds of music, so everyone's like, oh, is he here? Is it just the music? Jericho strolls out to this massive ovation as he's just walking out. He makes his way to the ring and sits at the desk. Kurt Angle starts the contract signing. Kevin stops Kurt before he can even start and starts screaming questions at Jericho, ultimately trying to find his way to an answer. Jericho just sits there with his sunnies on and feet on the desk and doesn't respond to Kevin at any point. Jericho signs the contract, gets up and leaves, no answers given. Kevin chases Jericho up the stage and a brawl breaks out on the stage and they go through all of backstage. They end up in the locker room where they are separated and the brawl stops. Like it so far still?
Yeah, I do.
Cool. The next week on Raw, Kevin comes out and shouts down the mic for Jericho to come out. Kevin is going crazy and just wants answers from Jericho. Then Jericho enters the ring from behind and is able to get Kevin into the walls of Jericho. Kevin is able to get to the bottom rope and drag himself out of the ring. The next week, we get a live video package of Kevin Owens at Chris Jericho's house. He knocks on the door and Jericho opens up. Kevin attacks Jericho and they brawl through Jericho's house. Kevin hits a pop-up powerbomb onto Jericho's kitchen island. Jericho's house has a kitchen island.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Most likely does, yeah.
On his kitchen island, they continue to brawl through Jericho's house. They head upstairs and into Jericho's pool room. Jericho also has a pool room, if you didn't know. He grabs hold of a cue and snaps it across Kevin's back. I've lost where I was. They continue to scrap through the house when Jericho throws Kevin through his bedroom window and into the pool outside. Jericho then heads down to the pool where the two continue to brawl before being broken up by police. Both are arrested. Later in that night, Kurt Angle announces that Kevin Owens has been suspended for 2 weeks and Jericho for only 1. So, on the go-home show before WrestleMania, we end the show with Jericho coming out to the ring. He starts by saying he's here to give answers, so he hopes Kevin is home. He says, English isn't working here. Kevin is watching at home.
Yeah.
He says he's had enough of helping Kevin win the title and that he knew he could win it by himself. So he may as English. It's not happening here.
It's not happening.
He says he had enough of helping Kevin win the title and that he knew he could win it himself, so he may as well win the title and keep winning the matches, but for himself. He felt that Kevin was using him to win the title and that he wasn't his friend, just his plan B. He says Kevin isn't a worthy champion, and on Sunday at WrestleMania, Chris Jericho will walk out the Universal Champion. So, WrestleMania 33 is here. The main event, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho. By the way, this theme song to WrestleMania 33 is also Luke the Nuke Littler's walkout song. Just fun facts for everybody. Thought everyone would enjoy that. In the main event of WrestleMania 33, it's Royal Rumble winner Chris Jericho against Kevin Owens for the Universal title. Jericho enters first as the challenger with his massive list of Jericho entrants like he had in real life.
That would go so sick.
Yeah.
I would just the stage as well.
Yeah.
Of it all just rolling down the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Roman Reigns.
And you just see suffering suck attack. Kevin then storms down to the ring. Like, his music hits, you know how sometimes he waits a second.
Yeah.
Doesn't even wait. Title on his shoulder, music hits, he's out. And he's just he's not running, but he's like pacing.
Yeah.
More than walking down to the ring. The match begins in Kevin and Jericho, hang on, that's not English. Anyway, Kevin just runs at Jericho, who backs up in between the ropes, and the ref stops Kevin. Jericho continues to avoid Owens before Kevin eventually gets his hands on Jericho, and the match properly begins. Kevin gets the early upper hand before the fight falls to the outside, and Jericho is able to fight his way back into the match. They eventually end up fighting on top of the announce table, and Jericho knocks Owens down onto it. Jericho then goes into the ring to break the count. As he heads out, he sees Kevin is led on the table and decides to hit his lion salt off the middle rope and hits it perfectly to put Kevin through the announce table. Jericho slowly makes it to his feet and rolls Kevin into the ring. He gets into the ring, makes the pin, 1, 2, kick out by Kevin. Jericho thought he had it, but Kevin able to get out of it. Jericho then heads up to the top rope. Kevin gets up quickly and catches Jericho and is able to get Jericho and then step onto the top rope to hit the fisherman suplex to Jericho. 1, 2, kick out by Jericho. Kevin can't believe it and starts going crazy and just starts unloading on Jericho. He then pulls Jericho up and hits him with the pop-up powerbomb. 1, 2, kick out at 2 again by Jericho. What's going to put away Jericho here?
What was going to put him away?
I've lost where I was. The crowd and Kevin both can't believe it. Kevin gets straight back up and goes to hit Jericho with another powerbomb, but on the way down, Jericho catches him with a code breaker. Jericho crawls into the cover. 1, 2, and Kevin gets the shoulder up. Jericho gets up and hits another lion salt and gets up and is able to get the walls of Jericho in. Kevin is able to crawl near the ropes, but Jericho pulls him back into the center of the ring and leaves Kevin no choice. And new Universal Champion, Chris Jericho. That's what we end with for WrestleMania.
So I had Owens retaining and you had Jericho winning.
I had Jericho winning. I don't know. I like Jericho with the
No,
world,
to be fair, title. I think if it was going to happen, I think Jericho would have won the title.
I don't hate.
It would have been Jericho for the first time in his career winning the title as a babyface.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he was a kind of a heel in yours. I don't know.
No, he wasn't.
Well,
he didn't give any answers.
He didn't really give an answer, but he was kind of a mix.
It was a bit of a mix. I'll give you that. But I thought my thinking was it sort of took the current Kevin Owens into it. You know how he just wants to scrap everyone, and he got a bit angry at the fact there was no answer from Jericho. There was no response to Kevin going, well, why have you done it? And Kevin just is confused. So I thought he could play on that. And I think Jericho would be very good at sort of smirking a little bit to even wind him up even more. Yeah. He is a wind-up merchant at the end of the day, I think, Jericho.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Especially list of Jericho.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I think I sort of thought, you know what, keep it going a little bit. Like that, keeping Jericho, nobody knows. Only Jericho knows why. And then I thought, came into my head was Randy Orton and Triple H scrapping in the house. And I thought, you know what, that'd be perfect for this.
Yeah, I did really like that bit.
Owen shows up at his house. Next thing you know, they just start scrapping. Just for fun, really.
Just why not?
So, I thought, Jericho is supposed to be the face, so I'm sorry if he came across as a heel. But
No, I understand where
he
you're
says-
coming from now. Yeah,
So, but yeah, Jericho's the new Universal Champion.
he was. But
Yeah,
need
did
to
you like it?
I did. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought I liked. So I was sat there, and when I was writing it, and I was like, I can't give up this heel turn. So I had it written down. The heel turn was the first thing I did. Not the heel turn, but the turn. Sorry.
Yeah.
The turn was the first thing I did when he turns on Owen. Sorry, was the first thing I had written down. So I was like, I can't give this away. How can I keep this like? And I was like, you know what? I could try make it look like that Jericho's going to choose the other champion at WrestleMania. So that's why I brought Cena into it after he won.
Yeah.
And then that didn't work out for Cena anyway. What happens with Cena in this, I don't know.
We don't know.
He sort of pushed aside.
He kind
really.
of just left.
So we don't know. But I thought if I keep Cena in it, it gives a bit of like, oh, okay, so it's going to be Jericho and Owens at Mania with the 2 belts. But I thought not the turn, but like, it's sort of a face turn, I'd say. They're both heels and then he.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, a nice little code breaker. But I was trying my hardest. Like I went through like 3 or 4 times to be like, is there any point here where I hint at it? And I'm like, no, there isn't. I'm glad it sort of kept it under wraps, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that was good.
So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we have one more thing to do as well.
Oh, spin the wheel.
Spin the
Forgot
wheel.
about that. Let me go on to random. Spin the wheel. What is it going to be?
Obviously, if there
Need
is
to get-
more ideas that you guys have, leave them in the comments.
Leave them in the.
We have had a few. I think have we put a few more on? I can't remember.
We have, I think.
I think we have.
Did I take off? What if Goldberg never returned to WWE? There we go. I didn't do
So we
that.
can take that one off.
Okay.
Screen record it.
Screen record it. Great shout. How do I do that on the new update though? Where's it gone? There it is.
There it is. How many widgets do you have?
I have them all on because it's just fun. But I took them off. No, I didn't take them off. I did the new update and now I'm confused with it all, to be completely honest. So anyway, ready?
Yep.
Spinning the wheel. The new episode for What If is going to be what if CM Punk never left AEW?
Adam's gassed.
You can hear him like celebrating down the screen.
He's gonna love it. He's gonna love it.
All right. You're
That'll
not
be
allowed any help with
interesting.
him, by the way.
Hmm?
You're not allowed any help.
No.
with him.
I won't. To be fair, I kind of done it all by myself on the last one.
No, fair. No, I'm not saying you don't, but I know he's a big CM Punk
He is
fan.
a huge
And, you
CM
know,
Punk fan.
It's going to be a 3-year title reign from CM Punk by the sounds of it, so, you know. I'm kidding.
Ooh, I don't think it'll be that long.
But, yeah, I'm actually...
That's
that'll be
interesting
good.
because where do you
Where do you
start
start?
it and where do you end it? I kind of think
Well, if CM Punk never left, it's got to be
All
you
in.
start it at All In.
you start all in.
But one thing was we both, I think, have to agree with Jungle Boy. Well, Jack Perry. Was he still Jungle Boy at that time?
Jack Perry.
He was Jack Perry.
He's got to be in it.
He's got to be in it at some point, but
Some
he's not at
point.
All In.
He's not at all in.
Because if he's at All In, we sort of know what happens.
Yeah, maybe it's not real glass, and maybe it doesn't say "Go cry me a river."
Maybe. But yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
That'll be a good one.
But that one will be done soon.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this one.
Yeah. I enjoyed this one.
I did.
I'm enjoying the what ifs.
Yeah,
They
I
are
am
good
as
fun.
well. When you think of all the ideas, it all starts coming to you, and then it's like it all just works out.
That was me. Because I did this last week when I was with Charlotte, so she had great fun. No, I was sat there and I thought of the turn, and then I was like, then it all came together. And
Yeah,
I was like, you know
yeah.
what, it's brilliant. So I do like the what ifs. But yeah, what if CM Punk never left AEW is a good one. You know,
It is a good
I'm
one.
already thinking.
So am I. I've already had a few ideas in my head right now, but obviously I can't say anything.
Don't want to give anything away.
No. I might tell you off this, but
No. I don't want to know.
Oh,
I don't want to know. I don't want to know at all.
it's so frustrating not telling anyone. But please like, subscribe, and obviously comment if you have any ideas for the what ifs. It doesn't matter if we already have them or we don't already have them. We will add them because if that's what you want to see, we will definitely do it. But follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, the lot.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.